I did that again. Oh my goodness. I keep doing that for some reason, having it on the wrong screen. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's still morning for me, afternoon for some of you on the East Coast, and earlier on the West Coast, like Marta. Hello, Marta, in rainy California. And who else is here? Christine is watching while working. Good on you, Christine. Elizabeth Tate, welcome. Hey, Amra. And Phyllis Johnson and my friend Jen Dykstra, she's here. And JC from Peoria, Illinois, not too far from me, just west on I-80, not too far. Hey, I'm Rita, nice to see you. So glad you guys could be here today. And Jenny G is here and Barbara Cohn is here. It's sunny in South Carolina. Yay. I'm really excited to be here with you today. On my normal Friday. It feels like it's been a while. It probably hasn't. It's been 2 weeks since I've been live on a Friday. I was wondering because last Thursday I had a lot more people on a Thursday. I don't know if Thursday works better for some people or not at the same time, Thursday at 11. So you guys will have to tell me, or I'll put out a poll in YouTube and just try to figure it out. Maybe Fridays are busy for some people. Hey, Maureen, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. And Miss Whitlock in Southern Utah. And Josie is here from Lebanon, Ohio. I've been to Lebanon many times. I am from Cincinnati and yeah, I've been to Lebanon quite a bit. My dad used to work up in Lebanon. So yeah, I know Lebanon pretty well. All right, you guys, so still in holiday mode here, as you can see behind me, holiday mode all over the place. I have a stack of Christmas cards, but you know, I give those out to teachers and viola instructors and, you know, people who run a mathnasium. I give out a lot of my cards. I hand deliver them. And so I can never have too many. So I figured, why not we just make one more? Why not just make one more? Thank you, Josie. Yeah, these are just some of my things that I've gathered from our house, like decorations. That one right there is my first Christmas, my baby's first Christmas stocking that my mom made for me. Yes, I'm so much better this week, Barbara. As of like Monday, I was kind of on the upswing. So, hey, Cynthia. Okay, so we're going to create a holiday card today, and I have some new products, new to me products from scrapbook.com that I'm going to be creating with, and one of them I was so inspired by, and I'm opening it now. I was really inspired by, so I'm going to do a little bit of stitching on it, and I know I shared a video earlier this week on stitching. On Sunday, I came out with a video
featuring Concord and Knight's latest release. So if you missed that, be sure to check that out. It had some stitching in it. So I must have stitching on the brain, but this die is screaming stitching. So can't wait to show it to you. Oh, Jen said she's been working on her Crafted by C9 stuff. So much fun. And if you guys saw on my Instagram feed that I posted a reel of me putting together the Christmas Village from Crafted by C9, that was like the best 30 minutes ever. Like I just stole away, made a little reel, and it took me 30 minutes. That was all. It was so good. Okay, so thanks, Maureen. I appreciate it. Yeah, my album is hanging up there. Hey, Florna, thank you so much. Hey, Catherine. Nice to see you, Catherine. Okay, so let's go down to the desktop and let me show you what I have here. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to create with were the new Christmas Ornaments die set from scrapbook.com. What I love about this die set are just all the amazing things you can do with all of these dies. There's lots of options for layering, for making things your own. I mean, you can have an outer shape, like a white outer shape, or maybe you want to do vellum. So these are these kind of outer shapes here. Then you have all of these layers that you can add here or not add. You can make your ornaments as ornate or as simple as you like. There's also a few like deer and a swan and a Christmas tree. You could also make those into ornaments. It'd be really fun. There's lots of bows. I just think it is a very sweet set, very, very economical, that you can do so many things with these, my friends, so many things. So today we're going to be using that. I've already die cut those out so you didn't have to watch me die cut. Oh, thanks, Josie. Yes, these are really good dies, Catherine. Okay, and then this is so cool. These are the nested Swiss dot rectangles. So you get 3 different dies, but I'm going to be using the largest one. And when I saw those holes, I thought we have to stitch around this. Plus, I'm going to use those holes to add the string that my ornaments are going to be hanging from. So not only is it going to add some interest with some stitching around the outside, but I'm also going to hang the string from them too. So it's going to be kind of double duty. I'm going to just take the tape off here. Hey, Tracy, nice to see you. Oh, if you have it, Tracy, you need to pull it out. Pull it out and play with it. Oh, Connie has the C9 crafted houses and she's working on hers too. Aren't they? They're so easy. And I was really amazed, Connie, at the quality. They're really thick and durable, and I can definitely see myself having those for years. Christine says she's been thinking about stitching. Well, I hope today's video kind of inspires you to give it a try. So I have lots of white cardstock behind me. Lots of white cardstock. This is all SCT white cardstock. I had a pile of like white cardstock near me recently, and I was like, I need to fix this pile. So what I'm going to do, this is 100-pound. I can tell because I can feel it. I want to die cut this on 100-pound, and that's because it's going to be easier for me to hold when I'm stitching. It's not going to bend as much. Yes, the nested die set, so good. I love dies that do like multiple duties, right? I'm going to grab my die cutting machine. So I did all the little ornaments, but I didn't do this part because I just wanted you to see how it die cuts. Yes, they did, Amrita, they did include the adhesive. It is wonderful that you don't have to pull anything out. You just have to open the box. And that glue is like gluey glue. It really worked. It really worked. So, friends, really exciting news that scrapbook.com is starting their Black Friday early. So if you shop anything that I'm showing you today or anything that you have on your wish list or any adhesive you need, you can get 11% off with the code SANTA. So check out my video description below where you're going to find all of the links and you're going to find that discount code as well. Hey, Marilyn from Connecticut. Yes, SCT does have the best white cardstock. Absolutely. Catherine, feel free to link it. Non-affiliate. It's just a cardstock that I love, and you know, Catherine keeps me stocked, which I'm so appreciative of. because it really is the best white cardstock. It is a nice true white. It blends beautifully because it has a very smooth texture. And Mr. SCT, he got it from, they have their sources. They're not telling. Okay, so look at how beautiful this is. And I have to say that even if you didn't want to stitch, it would be beautiful. And you know, if you didn't want to stitch, you could cut a rectangle the same size and back it with a darker color so that you could really see these dots. So I'm just using my scrapbook.com. I can't remember what they call it because everybody calls their tool different things, but it's linked below. It might be Pick and Place tool, or is that Gina's? Gina's is Pick and Place. So I'm just poking these out really quickly. And you know, I will often take stitching to bed with me. So, because I find it's something to do before I go to bed that's really relaxing. And I always make sure that before I take it upstairs that I'm doing this downstairs where all of my die cutting mess is. So you don't want to take this to your bed. I am using DMC floss on this card. Absolutely, Connie, you must have missed the beginning. I was so inspired by the stitching that I did earlier this week. And then when I saw this die set, I thought, oh, that just needs to be stitched. So we're going to stitch real quick because this is a quick one. This is a basic back stitch, you guys. Basic back stitch. Now I'm going to go kind of long on this and we're going to make a decision here because the holes are kind of bigger. Holes are bigger. Usually I would do 2 or 3 skeins. And a skein is when you pull these apart, that's how many individual pieces you have. So 3 is usually my go-to. I think in this case, I'm going to do 4. I'm going to do 4 because it's big. Now let's see what 3 looks like just to have an idea. Oh, Pick Pro Tool. Thank you, JC. Pick Pro Tool. Don't forget to use code Santa. And if you want anything from this live stream, you can click the links below. Okay, so this is what 3 would look like. If we grab one more, yes, Mr. SCT has a lot of experience with paper. He does. He is a paper lover. Like he's a paper snob, I would say. He is a paper snob. And you should see him with photo paper. That's a whole nother level of snobbery. He loves good photo paper. And I loved learning about it from him. He was explaining like the different brands that he buys. And I loved learning about that because I had no idea about that. So he can print the most beautiful photos at home because he has that nice paper. Okay, so 4 looks like that. And I think 4 is where the money's at, you guys. Oh, Barbara, that's so wonderful. Barbara's going to be running a food drive tomorrow and we'll be stitching at my refreshment stand. I love that. That's so cute, Barbara. Oh, Josie, you have to try us. Oh, Sai, can you get my AirPods? Guys, I think, weirdly, my mic went out. Can Can you swap me? I'm going to grab my AirPods real quick. Sorry, guys. Okay, can you plug that in for me? And I'll get that in a few minutes. Okay, we're Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Sorry about that. That was really annoying. I don't know how that happened. I thought I plugged that in. So thank you guys for letting me know. Thank you. Um, the beauties of live streaming. Love it. Thank you guys. Working now. Yes, thank you. Okay. So we're gonna try if this isn't as good of sound as before, I apologize for that, but I'll get that charging and then we'll go back to it. So let me show you how easy this is, especially with these straight lines. I like to use a nice tape to hold this down so I don't do, any knots or anything like that. And I really like to use Spellbinders Best Ever Craft Tape. It's sticky enough that I don't have to worry about this coming up. Okay. The white paper I'm using, Maureen, is SCT white cardstock. This is 100 pound. Did get some lipstick on it, but we're going to cover that up, so don't even worry. This is 100 pound cardstock because it's nice and rigid when I'm stitching. And Catherine, thank you for texting me. Um, okay, thank you guys. It's good. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Josie, I decided to use 4 strands. So I am going to go down from the top, then come back up in the next hole along, then go back down through the previous hole. This is called basic back stitch. This is the easiest stitch you can do ever. And it's pretty much the only stitch that I do. My mom is really good at doing different stitches. I am not. I am not. So I pretty much rely on the basic back stitch. I always turn my paper over to just double check that I'm going in the right hole, but it makes it really fast when you're doing it this way. Also, when your holes are nice and close together like this is a really great one to try on. Like this, if you're new to stitching, this is a great die set to try out. Um, when the holes are nice and close like this, that means you're going to be wasting less of your floss. Now, speaking of floss, what I'm using here is DMC 3848, and this is kind of the same color as the Lakefront cardstock that I'm going to be using in just a few minutes from Concord and Night. I would say that it matches Lakefront really, really well. Barbara, I'm using 4. I decided to go with 4 because it's nice and thick, and these holes are pretty big. They're not like normal stitching holes. Stellar Crafts by Pam said, "Is the string folded in half for stitching on paper?" No, I just did 4 strands or skeins of out of the 6. So I took 2 out. I cut a nice long piece, took 2 out, and used 4. And then when I go back to do another piece, I will take those 2 and I'll show you that. I'll take those 2 and match them up with another 2 from the next piece that I cut. Yes. So really, really simple, you guys. So the first row already done, okay? And I wanted to show you this process. I didn't start it. I probably should have started it. But I wanted to show you this process because I know a lot of people, they're not sure. And the greatest thing about starting stitching is I literally went project by project, decided, like, so for example, with the 12 days of Stitchmas, if I decided that, something was going to be die cut in, um, gosh, whatever, whatever color of Spellbinders cardstock, I would take that cardstock to Michael's and match my floss with it to get the right color. So I literally bought my floss color by color based on the project that I was doing. I didn't go in and buy a million different colors because you never know if you're ever going to use those random colors. Yeah, the holes are big, and I think that it needed these 4 strands. They're really simple, Josie. These are really simple to stitch in because they're not tiny like some other stitching dies. Now, I also love the stitching die of the month from Spellbinders because I think those can either be big or small, according to what month you're getting. And those are usually on die cuts, and they often give you the option of using the stitching insert or not using the stitching insert. So you can kind of do double duty with those. But this is obviously one of those die sets that you don't have to stitch, but it just looks like $1,000,000 if you do, right? And this 100 pound is really holding up so much better than an 80 pound would, because an 80 pound might be kind of bending with your hands, touching it and things like that. Oh yeah, I love stitching years and years ago when I got in stitches for what company had it and still use it. That's great. So am I just holding the strand through the needle? Yes. So Pam, I'm literally holding the strand right here at the base of the needle when I'm stitching. If you're brand new to stitching, it kind of you have to get used to holding the needle, holding the paper. Like I said, I still look at the back side of the paper, so I'm doing a lot of turning as I stitch. Some people don't have to do that. If you have really good spatial awareness, you don't have to do that. Plus, I'm trying to talk and look at the camera and stitch at the same time, so I still have to do it. But I'm literally holding it here at the base of the needle while I'm going through. What I love about it is once you master stitching, especially the back stitch, it's so easy to do. You literally can sit and watch TV and pay attention to a TV program while you're stitching. If it's something like this and you're just doing rows, super simple. If you're doing something like that includes a pattern, some kind of pattern of some sort, then you might have to pay more attention. But something like this is just almost mindless. And I find that repetitive things can really be calming and relaxing. Okay. So almost done with this thread, and I will literally go until the very end of the thread. Oh no, I never tie a knot, Pam. I never tie a knot. Um, because you can, it's according to how you want to adhere your paper. You could actually see that knot through the paper. It could make a little dent in your paper. So never ever do I do that. I always just pull the skeins out and do it that way. And count my skeins. So I'm going to go a couple more holes and then I'm going to stop it there. And I'll show you how I stop it right here. So all I do here, and I'm going to create a really tiny knot here, nothing too big. So I'm going to run it underneath the last stitch that I just did, pull my needle through, and then push my needle through the loop, and then pull it out like so. So I just literally created the tiniest of tiny knots like that. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to cut a little piece of tape, tiny piece of tape, because I don't like those ends to be up. You never know. It's according to what kind of pattern you're doing. You might see that thread through one of the other holes. So I've always just done this and made it nice and neat and push that down. You're welcome, Pam. Okay, so now I have these two skeins left here because every floss, I think every embroidery floss includes 6 skeins, I'm pretty sure. Never checked that, but I've used DMC floss for a pretty long time, so I think that that is the case. And I'm going to cut my new piece the same length as the other one so that I can pull 2 out of this one. And then if I need another one later on, I'll have 4 left over. Okay. Now, sometimes when you're pulling the skeins apart, it'll do that and it'll like stop and you can't get it. All you have to do is pull the end. Sometimes I use my mouth that kind of happens. But if you get one of my cards that's stitched, don't be grossed out, okay? I think a lot of people who stitch use their mouth for things doing this. So you kind of just have to pull this part and it will kind of loosen up. Now, what I can do here that's making it a little bit more difficult is that my two skeins from before are getting mixed up in here, so I might have to stop this. I mixed it all up and now I have a mess. So we're going to stop it right there. We're going to stop it right there. And if that's not enough, we'll have to go in with another piece. Hey, Rochelle, nice to see you. Hello from sunny Wichita. It is nice and sunny here in on the south side of Chicago today. Really beautiful day. So, and it's pretty warm too, compared to how it was earlier in the week. Now, the tricky part is getting it back through the needle. I did a really good job before, so let's try to do that again. Okay. So we have our oh no, I didn't get it all through. Let's try to get it all through. Yeah, that happens to me a lot, Jen, when I'm pulling them apart and they'll kind of knot up. And then what I usually do is put the whole skein piece in my mouth and pull it while I'm using my two hands to pull the two halves apart. So, and then when you do this, this can sometimes be tricky too. So I'm going to cut it, see if that helps. So the hardest part is really getting your needle threaded and pulling your threads apart. Now, the other thing you can do, here's a little trick. If this keeps being an issue, you can take your tape like this and wrap it at the top like so, fold it over on itself. So I'm taking a little tiny piece of tape, folding it over the thread, and I folded it over on itself so it's not sticky. So then you have like almost a little cap to the top. You guys see that? Here, let me see if you can see that. I'll put it on paper so you can see. See that little kind of cap you have at the top of your thread with your tape? I really love Best Ever craft tape for stitching. And then I can do that and then it goes right on. And then I can just pull that little cap off. So that's a really good way. Yes, Amrita said, I was just gonna say, try this. Yes, thank you, Amrita. Okay, so then I will use a piece of tape here, and I have a very wonky end on my thread. I should have known that it wasn't going to go like absolutely smoothly. It's typically the case in a live stream, especially when you decide to do something like stitching, right? It was never going to go absolutely smoothly. Yeah, and this tape is kind of the perfect kind of tape, the perfect level of stickiness, the perfect thickness for doing that sort of thing with stitching. I don't think I would do that with like mint tape is a little bit thicker than the best ever craft tape. Okay. And then you just keep going. Sometimes it's worthwhile to have a much longer piece of thread, but you're more likely to kind of knot up when you have a really long piece of thread because you have to pull it out really far and push it back in really far and you can tend to get more knots that way. And I don't want to lose what I have on my needle here. So I'm going to pull that back through. Let's see if we can do this entire side with this one piece of thread. I think we can. Look, I think we can. We're going to try our hardest. So the one important thing is make sure that all of your thread is tight too whenever you pull it through, because sometimes one skein will like get a little bit wonky and you might have one that's kind of come apart from the other ones. You want to kind of make sure every once in a while that everything is nice and straight. Tracy said, sewing is never smooth. You just have to roll with what happens. That's so true. And I am not a great seamstress at all. My grandma tried to teach me all that she could, but I am not great at that. I can stitch pretty neatly because I'm A type, but I'm not great at sewing. I tried my best. Oh, Laura Lee is just getting up on the West Coast, and she loves hand stitching on felt and fabric. That's so nice. And that's not something that I've done a lot, but I know that, Spellbinders is coming out with dies that are made for felt designs, which is really cool. They had a Winnie the Pooh one recently. That was very cute. But I don't know, I just find that there are so many different things that you can stitch on. So on my video on Sunday, I did 3 cards that have stitched backgrounds. And look, I'm not going to make it, you guys. I'm not going to make it, but that's okay. We're going to finish the last little bit with another piece. Okay, so to show you how I finish one again, I pull it through and then there's a loop here. I'm going to take my needle backwards through that loop and then pull it tight. Okay, making sure that knot is nice and tight. I will trim it and then I will hold that thread end down with some best ever craft tape. So that's how I always end it. And then when I go to adhere everything down, I don't have to worry about where that thread is or if you can see it. And that's why I do that. Okay, here's my 4 skeins here on the other side of my knot that I got. So let's get this one through. Oh, number 18 or 20 tapestry needle. Okay. I have no idea what size needle this is. It is one that was in my grandmother's sewing products. And I just touched my lips again and I got lipstick on my finger. Apparently, I need to not wear lipstick before my live when I'm when I'm creating cards on white cardstock. Thanks, Simon. My husband said, "You look pretty though." Thank you. Yeah, that was the point of putting on lipstick. And so I somewhat looked put together on a Friday afternoon, even though I have soft pants on underneath this. I do have soft pants on. Okay, I'm gonna go forward again, starting over forward, and then into the next hole, and then backwards. So that's why they call this the back stitch, because you're always going one step forward, moving one step back. Oh, there's a fabric club. That's so fun. I do not follow her, but that's really fun. Love that idea. No, my grandmother was really good at sewing. Of course, I did hear a lot of 4-letter curse words coming out of her sewing room because if she messed something up and had to like pull out an entire row or something, she was not a happy camper. But she made a lot of things. All of my Halloween costumes, we used to go to the Joann's, or I think we had a different store back before there was a Joann's, and we used to pick out our patterns. So we used to go pick out our patterns for our Halloween costume like a few months before Halloween, and we would go and pick out our fabric, and she would make our costumes. It was pretty cool. Okay, so last one, we're going to close this one off here, pull that through, put my needle through the loop. This one's much longer, and then pull that nice and tight. Now, storing these leftover little pieces, I don't typically do that unless I have like a large enough piece because it gets to be kind of a mess when you have little pieces of thread like sticking out of your box. And I'm trying to keep mine more organized. So in this case, if I had this nice, this is a pretty substantial piece. So I would come in and wrap it around just like my other pieces and put it on like so, like that. And then I would have this as my main piece, and I would put this on like so, like that. So then I have an extra little piece there. Okay, super fun. Now, oh, what I needed to do though, this is what I forgot. So I am going to be creating a few different ornaments. I've die cut all of the pieces. And if you came in late, I'm using this Christmas ornaments die set, and it's amazing because it has lots of little elements for you to kind of customize your ornaments. Now, the main pieces of these ornaments are that oval. There's a circle, if I can pick it up out of my tray. There's a circle like this. And there is kind of a long, elongated piece like that. And I think that that kind of grouping is nice. So what I need to do is kind of to figure out, put a little pencil mark where I want these to go. Do you guys think that that's good? And then I have enough room here for a little sentiment. I kind of like that. I kind of like that grouping. Hey, Kathy Z, nice to see you. Okay, so if I like this grouping, and I could always have, oh, gotta cover up the lipstick mark, gotta cover that up. I could always put that one kind of outside of the line just to break up that line just a little bit. I kind of like that idea. So to cover up the lipstick mark, I'm going to put this right about here, and I'm going to put a dot just above it. The reason why I'm putting it just above it is because the little ornament holders, these little things, that come off of all of our ornaments and fire us up and we have to slide them back on, those are just a little bit higher. Okay, so my circle dot I'm going to put there, and this one I'm going to put about right there. Okay, so that's a little bit, they're kind of offset. Okay, now I can take these off and I'll pull all the dies over and just show you guys what all of these die cut pieces look like. Now recently I've realized that this thing is not only good at like picking up your little gems and such, but it's also really good at poking holes, right? So as long as your fingers are out of the way, you can poke a really great hole with these, and that hole is pretty much the same size as the ones we just stitched on. So, and the other reason why 100 pound is great for this is because if I had 80 pound and I was trying to do this and hold this with two fingers and push through, you would really get some kind of warping of the cardstock. But 100 pound holds up much better to that. Okay. So now what we can do, and hopefully I'm kind of close to holes. I should have really lined them up with the holes and I didn't think about that. Oh, live and learn. Live and learn. I'm gonna put this back through. And now, we can do like two skeins on this because maybe we don't want such a thick piece going down to our ornaments. I think that that is a great idea. Okay, so let's just do two because really the highlight of this card is going to be the outside, that stitch detail, and the details on these ornaments. This is just a way to hold them all. I don't want lipstick and blood on the card. No, and I really injured myself this week, Amrita, when I was shipping something to one of my colleagues. I was using, and if Catherine's listening, Jack uses these all the time, but it was like one of those big shipping tape dispensers. And they have super sharp uh, teeth on them to like tear your tape. And my finger just touched it and I really, really cut myself. It sucked. Okay, so this hole right there is going to be perfect for that one. So I'm going to run that through just like that. So nice thin line that's going to go down to that ornament. And then I'm going to pull it nice and tight. I'm going to cut my Spellbinder's Best Ever craft tape and make sure that that is pulled nice and tight before I tape that off. So now we have one line for our first ornament. Okay, so there's that one. Now this one is a little bit tricky here because I kind of mucked that one up, but we're gonna make it work. And I might be able to kind of move it a little bit because my die cut might be able to cover that up. So if I pull that over to the side, I just have to place that ornament topper right over top of it and you won't notice. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to do the exact same thing, cut a few more pieces of this Best Ever Craft tape. Tape that one off. So like most people who stitch who are worried about what their backside looks like, I'm not worried about what the backside of this looks like, right? It is what it is. It's a little bit of a mess, but at least everything is taped down. Okay, there's that one. That's pretty straight, right? Pretty straight. Not too bad. And then our last one, hopefully, is not too far off of a hole. I think we're gonna just make it. Okay, I'm gonna go up through. Uh-oh. Let's see, do we have enough? I think we have just enough slack to do this one. Oh, tinfoil box. I've done that before. I've done that before, Beth, and it is awful. Yes, when you go to open it, like a brand new Costco Reynolds Wrap box. Yeah, I've done that many a times. Now I take my butter knife and run it in too. Okay, so this one is going to hit this hole just about there. Okay, what I'm going to do to kind of pull it to the side to make sure it's on the side of the hole. You guys see that? It's a little bit wonky, but it's just going to work. I'm going to pull it off to the side that I want it to kind of lean towards. So if you're going to make this at home, like Tracy, you said you had some of these products at home. If you're going to do this at home, make sure before you punch your holes that they line up with the holes at the top so that you get nice straight hanging strings. Okay, there we go. Now we are done with all of our strings. So we've made our background, okay? And I wanted it to have a nice white background because I wanted these colors to stand out. So let me show you the colors that I'm using today. Really, really fun. So I have Concord and Ninth, Sea Glass, which is my light, Lakefront, which is my darker teal. Then I have Ballet Slipper and Brickyard. I really like this color combination. I love Brickyard. It's kind of my new favorite Concord and Ninth color. I think it's so pretty. So all we have to do is kind of build up what I've cut here. And I'm trying to find my tweezers. There we go. I also used champagne cardstock. Now, this is almost sold out at scrapbook.com. Champagne is one of my favorite foiled cardstocks. It is still in stock at Concord and Ninth, however. I think it is such a perfect color because it's not gold and it's not silver. And I think I part of me just likes that in between because I can't make a decision. So that's me. Yes, tea roller to the rescue. I should have done that. Yeah, thank you, Laura Lee. Thank you for that. So look at these layers here. This is probably my favorite one, but you have that background little scallop edge layer. Then you have these beautiful ovals that go over the top. So I'm going to pop these on. And remember, whenever you're putting something on top of a foiled cardstock, it's going to take a little bit longer for it to dry and actually stick down. So you might have to hold your fingers down on there. Yeah, and you guys, the colors are, you can see the colors in uh my shoppable, what is that? The link below that goes to like the entire list. So you can see those colors together there. And I always know when I'm making that list and I put those colors together and I see them on that grid, that's when I know that they work, right? Sometimes I'm like, well, we could try this color combo. And until I see them on a grid together, it really works. Now, if I have the time, I always love to create like a swatch for Concord and Ninth, but this morning I did not have the time. So that's always my favorite thing to do is create a swatch because then I can save it and have it for next time, you know? Okay, look at these. These are little tiny ovals that layer in here to add another layer. So we're up to 4 layers now. Aren't those gorgeous? So I decided to put a little bit of the ballet slipper onto this one, and I'll probably I'm trying to not stick with just sea glass. Oh, and lakefront. I just picked that up. Did not mean to do that because I have glue on my tweezers. There we go. So I'm just trying to make sure these guys are nice and straight. So although there are small dice here, there's nothing too fussy, I wouldn't say. These aren't too bad. Hey, Linda Warrington, nice to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Now the center oval is a little bit bigger than the other ones. Okay, now I can take my topper here. And I think I will use, no, I'm going to use this one. We're going to use this big fat topper. And just place that right on the top. There we go. Okay, so there's one. Super pretty. Let me just show you those details. Aren't they so pretty? And I think I will actually grab my enamel dots and put some enamel dots in there too. Now this one is a really pretty shape, and it is very vintagey, Tracy. Very vintagey kind of feeling, and that's because of the shape of these ornaments. They're not modern. They're very old school. Very old school. Oh, steady hands. Laura Lee, I actually wanted to be a surgeon when I was younger, funny enough. And then because I'm type A and I got a um, C in Chem Lab, my first C ever, kind of had one of those like Jesse Spano moments where I freaked out. Does anybody, if you're of 40 something and above, you will know what I mean by a Jesse Spano moment, where I kind of freaked out about the pressure and I decided to leave my biology major. And so that is the reason why I'm here with you today. Thanks, Elizabeth. These are so pretty. These are just this is such a great die set, and it's a huge die set, and it's such a great price. Plus, you can get 11% off. So look at this layer. Look at how this goes on. Oh, this goes right below. Almost forgot that. So it goes right below that top layer. So it butts up to it. And I'll just touch that glue so that you can't see it. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Especially with that champagne color. I just love it. Okay, so then that little piece I can maybe I'll put some enamel dots here to kind of dress that one up. And then I'm going to put my topper on. I'm just doing 3 because I don't want to overcrowd the card, and I think that 3s are just perfect. Nothing better than a group of 3. Okay, so there's that one. And then this one I cut 2 different ones, but I think I want 2 of my teal. So over here I have one that is kind of the Shard in London looking, very Shard in London looking with a star. But this one I really like these layers. Check this one out. Because this one has this band with little scallops like that. And then it has a straight band like so. And I could even put that star that I cut from the other one in here. I think surgeons are safe. I don't think AI is going to overtake surgeons, but who knows? Hey, Roberta, nice to see you. Oh, don't worry, Marianne. Don't worry. Okay, I'm glad you're watching me from work though. So what happens if I put this in the center? Oh, that's really pretty actually. I like that. We're gonna go with it. And it does feel kind of extra vintagey to have that brickyard on top of there. I love that. Going with it. I'm not thinking too hard about these today. We're just gonna make, right? Make a card. That's what we're supposed to do in just about an hour. I think we're gonna get there. All right, this topper is a little bit thinner. I think there are 4 different toppers. There is also a really tiny ornament. That's this one right here that has these little details on it too. So you can use that one. And that one looks like that. It's like a teardrop. Super pretty. So this is the full die set here. Includes a Christmas tree with like the trimmings. It includes a pretty swan with that detail on its wing and a deer, which you can also make into ornaments too, or you could create a pretty little scene with those as well. But I just think it's such a great die set. Okay, so there's the topper for that one. Just need to make sure that it is straight. Now, I am just going to stand up and grab my enamel dots. So I'm going to grab Ballet slipper. I am going to grab some sea glass. Hopefully I have sea glass. I think I do. Yes, I do. And hopefully I have Lakefront, which I think pretty positive that I have Lakefront, and it's probably in with my inks. And the reason why it's in with my ink refillers is because I was topping them with enamel dots, and when I did the new Concord and Ninth ones, I think I moved it, so maybe I don't have it. So we might just go with Ballet slipper and sea glass today. Okay, so this one, now I think what would be really pretty is if I went with sea glass in the middle of these. So we have tiny little dots right here. These are just kind of regal, aren't they? They're just really beautiful. Could you imagine an entire tree with ornaments like this? Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so there's 3 of the sea glass. Oh, you know what? I cut 3 little stars. Oh, I did. Let's see what that looks like. Let me take one of these off and let's see what that looks like. So I did cut 3 little stars and I forgot about that. So these were cut out of champagne and they might not be right for this. It's pretty with 1 star actually. Okay, so let's do it with 1 star and then 2 enamel dots on the outside. There we go. 1 star in the center. So pretty. Okay, this one, what am I going to do with this one? This one we could do maybe enamel dots like at these points right here. I think I'm going to go with all the small ones. And if you ever wonder if you have something put together right, just double check the back side. I think that's pretty good. So if we just put those 2 right there, it almost looks like a hot air balloon. Super cute. And then this one, I could also put a small star in the center, or I could put an enamel dot. So let's try the enamel dot and see what we think. Lovely. Okay. So then you have some kind of like, you know, different textures, different things going on there, but super duper pretty. Oh, cat walked over your laptop. I saw that, Candy, and I was like, yeah, she probably just accidentally hit the Z. Or I was making you very sleepy because I'm so boring. I don't know which one it is. Hopefully not the latter. Okay, so here, then I can kind of plan to pop these on like so. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so pretty. Look at this. Oh, so pretty. And those dies just came together so quickly. Then I can plan to put bows on. So I can put bows a little bit higher than the ornaments because I don't really want to cover up the detail on my ornaments, if you know what I mean. Like if I put one right here, then it kind of covers up some things, and that makes me a little sad. So what do you guys think? Bows or no bows? I think that red one is quite nice. And maybe, I don't know. It's questionable whether I put on bows or not. They do look quite nice. Okay, I think I do need the bows. Okay, let's do that. So first I'm going to take my 1mm tape and I'm using black just because I am almost out of white. Very nearly out of white. It's kind of a crisis. Got to place a scrapbook.com order today to make sure that I get some more because I just use so much 1mm white. Yeah, Beth says bows. JC says bows. No bows. Catherine likes the red one though. JC loves the bows. Only the red one at the top, says Connie. Hmm. Gosh, we're kind of mixed here. We got a mixed grouping of opinions. Okay, so there's that one. It definitely needs that level, that little bit of dimension. That one is really pretty though. That one's super pretty. Okay, so what I can do is put a nice little dab of glue here. I've got a stoppage there. Okay, I'm gonna put a nice little dab of glue on this one and place it just above that topper, just like that. I do like the red one. I agree with you guys, but I feel like without another bow, these look a little bit unfinished. What happens if we cut off the tails? Should we try that? Because the worst thing that could happen is that I have to cut another bow. That's not too hard, is it? Okay, so if I cut off the tails, maybe that will make it so that we like it a little bit better. I kind of do like that. How do you guys feel about that? Don't be afraid to cut things off if you need to. So then they don't hang down and they're a little bit different. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Connie said, what if you cut them shorter? Yes to all the bows, said Elizabeth. See, I like that better because they're not hanging down and covering up the ornaments. So we're gonna go with that. Okay, so for these two, I'm gonna pop these on and then we just have to figure out our sentiment. And I have a pattern paper that I would like to use around the white just to kind of dress it up a little bit because we did go with white to help these ornaments stand out. And I did try darker colors this morning and I just was not feeling the darker colors. Yes, everybody says better. No tails. Great idea. Always things are always fixable, right? You can always customize everything to be what you need for your project. Okay, so this one, lining it up with that, trying to make sure it's nice and straight. Big dollop of glue here. Trying to cover this up like so. And I'm just going to hold it down for a second to try to get that to hold. Yeah, I love this card. The hardest part about making cards that you love for Christmas is that you have to give them to someone that you know will really appreciate them. So what I do for my daughter's teachers is I give her access to all of my Christmas cards and I tell her to go through and pull out the ones that she wants for her teachers. So she will choose the cards based on like her teachers like what they like and just how they are. She typically will choose my cutesier cards, I would say. I'm gonna try to make this a little straighter here. Try my best. I'm gonna try to pull it over just a tiny bit because see my string's a little bit wonky there. So let's put a big dab of glue on here. So it'll be interesting to see which card she chooses for which teachers this year. Okay, popping this right on top. And I'm going to pull over that string and hold it down. There we go. I love this. So sweet. Thank you, Cynthia. So 2 die sets, one that is huge, and then the other one that is good for every single day use. So you have the Christmas ornaments, which is that one. And then we did the, oh, what is this one called? It's in my list. It's somewhere. So this one too, that you can use for every single day. Okay, now I'm going to grab a pattern paper. Now, I tried the pattern paper behind these ornaments and it was just too distracting. Too distracting. Couldn't do it. But I thought it would actually be great to put it on a pattern paper at the end, like an A2 size piece, because you would just see the edges of it. So let's try this. This is from the Holiday Pattern Collection. Some of these are really bold, but some of them are nice and soft. So that like little pink snowflake, then you have that bold one. Then you have Ornaments and Joy. I love this one. This is almost like a fall design. Love that. Look at those. Aren't those sweet? So lots of different colors in here. Then you have these snowflakes that I just think are gorgeous. So lots of different choices in this one. Love, and then there's the solid green. Love this candy cane. Look at that stripe. That's very different. And these stars, it's a good one. It's kind of like the ornaments that we're making today. But it just has a lot of different ones there. So I am going to cut this down to A2 size. That's a great idea, Marianne. I do, I mean, all of the cards that I make, you guys just know that they're going out into the world, or if I don't send them out, and I don't think I will, then I will donate them to scrapbook.com. So this is what that's going to look like. Isn't that pretty? And I think that's just the right amount of pattern on the outside, but you know, of course, I've got to pop that up. We got to pop it up. Plus, when I'm stitching something, I like to use foam tape behind it because that really holds everything down, holds all your stitching down, and makes everything look really nice. So we're going to do this and then we're going to choose a sentiment. So this is my favorite tape for making sure that things really stay stuck together. I got to get the edge up here. This is the scrapbook.com tape. I really liked the white snowflakes as opposed to this mint color because my sea glass is a little bit more blue than this mint color. And that was less noticeable on the white with the snowflakes. Thank you guys. I just, chose a few things that I hadn't gotten to use yet. And that's kind of the nice part about the end of the season is because we start working on Christmas so early as card makers. And then we realize, oh, I bought this set, or, you know, um, I got this one and haven't used it yet. Well, now is the chance. Now is the chance to grab that extra set. Maybe you didn't buy any Christmas this year and you want to take advantage of your 11% off today at scrapbook.com. That's so pretty. Love that one. Now I'm gonna put 1 millimeter foam adhesive, and that's two. That's two. Here's my one. It's all the way at the bottom. Oh, here's my die set. This is the nested Swiss dot rectangle. So you get 3 different Swiss dot rectangles in this one. So that's a really good deal. Okay, turning this over very carefully, and I'm going to cover this with my 1 millimeter foam. And that is just going to hold everything together. But that best ever craft tape does do a really good job at holding down all the thread too. Okay. Oh, the pink paper. The pink paper. I could try it. Let's see. is that this one. See, I think that one, I think that's the only pink paper that's in here. The pink paper that Pam suggested. Oh, this one. You mean that one? Oh, that could be pretty too. Okay, let's see what you guys think. Let's take a little vote here. You're right, because that is very close to ballet slipper. So we could try that too, and I'll just save this for another card. Okay, what do you guys think? On pink, like so. Oh, I kind of like that, you guys, because it gives it a bit more contrast, right? Thank you, JC. Oh, you're so sweet. That is the sweetest thing ever. Thank you. So tell me what you think. Yeah, pink one or the snowflakes? And while you're voting, I'm gonna cut the pink one because I feel like you guys are gonna vote for this one. If Catherine Tashton's still here, she would vote for pink. Pink, pink, pink. Pretty. Yeah, I think pink is pretty. Now, do I attempt to pull this off? Because it is stuck. It is stuck on here. Or do I just make it nice and thick and add this one on top? Let's cut another card base or grab one. Here we go. I have this one here. And I will grab my scoring board. I still have my Martha Stewart scoring board, and this is what I use to make all of my card bases because I just love it. Except where I just did the wrong line there. So we're gonna cover that one up. Okay. Oh no, don't get stuck. All right. Does everyone say pink? Great suggestion, Pam. Yes, thank you, Pam. Thank you for making my card really beautiful. Yes, Catherine has trained us well. Yes, she has. If pink is an option, you must go for pink. It's brand standard for SCT magazine. It's kind of true. It's kind of true. It's brand standard, yes. Although this live is not sponsored by SCT magazine, I am still in my mindset. Okay. All right, let's go with pink. I think you guys are right. I think that pink it works perfectly with that ballet slipper. It's kind of the next step up, isn't it? A ballet slipper. All right, so let's put our pink panel on. See what that looks like. As long as we can get it on nice and straight here. There we go. And then I'm going to put some glue on here just in case I mess this up. I'll have a little bit of wiggle room. Although my glue is kind of having a Friday and it doesn't want to work anymore. It is telling me that it needs to be soaked. So when it gets like this, I will usually take off the top of the cap and just soak it in soapy water for about 20 minutes. And then that makes it just right again. Okay, so let's make sure we put that on straight. Now, when I put this on like this, my nails are down here like this. So my nails are going to touch that cardstock before anything else does. And then I can eyeball it and kind of move it around before anything goes down. So that's how I always go about it. That looks pretty good. Pretty good. And then because I have some glue on, I can kind of tilt it. Look at that. So pretty. Okay, so I have two options for my sentiment. So this is another way you guys can help me. And I think I know which one I liked better, but you tell me. So we have this very traditional Merry Christmas. This is from the Triple Step Evergreen stamp set. So nice little scripty Merry Christmas, and then it has a banner. Or I do this Merry Christmas in a longer banner. I like Merry Christmas because I think both of those are a little bit more traditional. Or I could go with just joy, the scripty joy word. So what do you think? You guys tell me. So this is what Merry Christmas We'll kind of go right across here with a little banner. This one's a little bit longer, so that one might be a little tight. Or we could just use this joy word. Now, you could use any sentiment that you wanted here, any that you had on hand. Now, joy could be really pretty because of the way it kind of sits down here at the bottom, like that. Straight, says Pam. JC says, love it. Marianne says, so pretty, so smart, says Robin. So Pam says straight. This Merry Christmas. Yes, that one. Scripts Merry Christmas. Yep, that one here. Okay, so let's do that one. That is this die. So I'll just grab a little bit of paper, little scrap of paper here. I have lots of scraps. Like I said, I kind of gathered all my scraps together and just put them in my white bin. So I'm going to find one that's small enough. I'm going to do 100-pound for this one so that when it goes on, it's nice and sturdy. There's 100-pound. Okay. Yes, everybody says straight. Okay. Love it. You guys, this is your card too. I mean, you guys have created this card today. I love that. Now, one thing that I have is, oh, it's already in there. So this is the Gripmate from scrapbook.com, the new ones. I really like them. This is the larger one, the 6x8. I'm gonna put it, yeah, I'll put it up and down. It's fine. And I'll pop this right about there. I want to leave space on the side for that die. And I'm going to use the darker color. I'm going to use Lakefront because I think it'll help it to stand out more. Or I could use red. So maybe we do them both. Let's do Brickyard and Lakefront and see which one we like better. I'm going to give my stamp a wipe here. And stamp that. Oh, I think it's going to be red. I think it's going to be Brickyard because this is pretty. And with that pink, actually, I might not even stamp the lakefront. I think with the pink, it'll look gorgeous. Look at how pretty that is. Isn't that a great font? I'd love to know what font that is. Have to message Greg and get that one. I love fonts. I'm a font snob, so whenever I find a font that I like, I need to know which one it is. Okay. So I'm going to use a little bit of mint tape here. Make sure that's nice and straight. I'm going to stand up just to make sure. Always better to make the paper straight before you decide if something is on straight too. Okay, a little bit more mint tape on the other side. Love that. And grab my scout. So this has been a little bit of a longer live stream today, but we stitched, we put together 3 die cut ornaments, made a sentiment, and layered everything up. So I think that that is pretty good, right? And thank you guys for all of the thumbs up on this video. I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time to like come here and watch with me too. Even if you didn't get a chance to comment, if you want to say hello right here at the end and just say, hi, I'm lurking, that's okay. Oh, Marianne says she likes the font better that I stamped it in red. I'm going to cut this out 3 times. We're going to make a nice layered strip here. A nice thick one. I did a lot in an hour, Tracy. I feel pretty proud of myself, right? And I created one more Christmas card. Now this, I mean, you could go to town with these ornaments and make all sorts of ornaments with this one. You can make lots of different groupings. You could even make a card where you had one single ornament in the center and it would just be lovely. I'm going to go in a little bit closer because we got clutter everywhere. So it would be really nice to just have, you know, maybe you could do smaller cards, notebook size cards than the little ones, note cards, I should say, and just do a single ornament. And that would be beautiful too. You could even use the smaller stitched rectangle for the single ornament because that would look beautiful, like say with one of the longer ornaments. Lovely. Okay, layering this on top, and I'm just using my fingers to make sure those are nice and aligned. So we have a nice thick kind of chipboard-like sentiment. Thank you, Marianne. Hello, Jude. Meg loves her fonts. Yes, Catherine is right. I'm very excited about the Market Day font, and I found it kind of on the first day when we were going over Market Day stuff. I found it, and I was like, "This is it." I didn't even look at another font. I was like, "This is our font, our font combination, I should say." So. If you guys are involved in, if you are signed up for Market Day at Scrapbook and Cards today, we are finalized our design. We have samples coming. I'm super excited to sample everything because I'm the one that gets to try everything out first. So that's really exciting for me. I don't know about you guys, but I am jazzed about this card. I don't think this is one that I'll give to my daughter to give to to give to her teachers. I think I will be keeping this one. Absolutely. It's so pretty. What do you guys think? If you love it, give this video a thumbs up. And you guys helped me design this one. So thanks to you, I came out of this hour-long live stream with a really beautiful card to gift to someone for the holidays. It's so good. Maybe it's yours, Catherine. Maybe it's yours. I can't wait for Market Day either. It'll come quickly, right? It'll come quickly. Okay, you guys. So thank you so much for being here with me. I have something else to film today that I'm really excited about, something that's coming in the spring. So I'm going to be busy die cutting more and filming more this afternoon. But love that you guys were here with me on a Friday, and thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with me for this longer live stream than I typically do. But if you love any of the products that I use today, be sure to check them out in the video description below by clicking the More button. Don't forget, scrapbook.com has 11% off, which is a great discount. So any of those things that have been on your crafty wish list or those adhesives that you need, click the More button below to find that code so that you can shop and save. But thank you guys so much. JC Market Day is a one-day event, card making event with Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine. It is currently closed, but you can get on the wait list for that right now. So if you go to scrapbookandcards.com, you will find in the events tab, you will find that listed there. Yes, our tag book is right there, Laura Lee. Oh, if you make it today, Laura Lee, please tag me, share it on social and tag me. Okay, you guys, I will see you back here next Friday. I think Fridays, I'm going to stick to Fridays unless something happens and Thursdays become the day. Maybe I'll do a poll on YouTube or Instagram. So watch for that. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy creating. Bye.